Hey, learn audio engineering. New speaker day, let's compare them to the old ones. Yamaha HS5s, Neumann KH-80s, are they worth the price difference? Let's find out. So to start, here's the technical stuff. The Yamaha HS5s feature a 5-inch woofer and a 1-inch tweeter. Now the back features some EQ controls to tailor the speaker to fit your room. There's a mid EQ that allows for a 2 dB cut or boost at 2 kHz, a room control which is a low mid shelf that offers a 2 or 4 dB cut at 500 Hz. There's also a high shelf 2 dB booster cut at 3 kHz, and finally a low cut filter at either 80 Hz or 100 Hz. And of course, all these controls can be left flat if desired. This speaker can be connected with either an XLR or a 1/4-inch speaker cable, and it features a sweepable output level control. A pair of these 5-inch Yamaha speakers retails for around 400 American. The Neumann KH-80s have a 4-inch woofer and a 1-inch tweeter, and a pair of these is available for around 900 American. The back pedal has some unique features like an auto standby that will put your speakers to sleep after 90 minutes of standby to save power. Very German thing. There's also a local control and a network control of this feature. So the local control refers to the back panel. That's the only thing that's shaping the response of the speaker. And the network control refers to the Neumann Control app software. And I haven't dived into that feature yet, so I won't be covering it in this video. But if you'd like a video on that, drop me a line in the comments. So the only EQ control available outside of that app is the acoustical control, which is a 4-way switch that dips some low mids to compensate for reflections off of your desk or console. The bigger the desk size, the deeper the cut. So the last two controls on the KH-80s are an input and an output control. Now these speakers accept both XLR and 1/4-inch together by means of a combi jack. And I'm saying this right now, okay? It's 2020. Everything should be combi jack now. Yamaha should take some notes. Neumann's doing it right. If you guys want a deeper look into their company practice, I suggest you watch this video where I go to Bissendorf, Germany to tour the Sennheiser Neumann manufacturing facility and interview them about microphones and speakers and stuff. Yeah, really great video. Check it out. We're going to be comparing the Neumann KH-80s, and we're going to be putting them up against my old speakers, the Yamaha HS5s, to see, are they worth the price difference? So how are we gonna tell? We're gonna do a mix comparison. I've got a song here that I'm going to mix on the Neumanns, and all of the mix decisions that I make on the Neumanns, I'm gonna assume to be awesome because those speakers are great. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to keep those same tools that I used, all the same plugins, but I'm going to reset all of them, and I'm gonna try and recreate that mix with the Yamaha speakers. What's gonna change here is when I think, hey, maybe the snare needs a little bit of top end, I'm gonna dial that in, but how much I choose to put in is gonna be dependent on the speakers, right? So in this way, the monitors are gonna affect my perception of how much is enough, too little, or a lot. So both of these speaker setups are going to be paired with my Yamaha HS-8 subwoofer to fill out a bit of that low end because they are quite small. But for an additional comparison, I then mixed the song again on a Sony Clock Radio with these tiny little 3-inch speakers. So here we can see the 3 versions in Logic. And what's interesting about these two is the first 2 monitor mixes are quite comparable while the radio mix looks much quieter. Now this is interesting because when I was mixing into that tiny Clock Radio speaker, the mix did feel big and it felt like it was pushing to the edge of the speaker's capability. But then when I listened to my other mixes, the Yamaha and the Neumann ones, through that Clock Radio speaker, it was just a complete other level. The mixes felt way bigger than those small speakers themselves. So I'm curious, how will that Clock Radio mix compare with our other 2? Let's find out.
Wilka kozak mistom, pilko petom, kami tresno tarazva. Pilko petom, kami tresno tarazva. Pilko petom, kami tresno solo eko, vajo svesno tarazva. Solo eko, vajo svesno tarazva.
So a very interesting comparison indeed. What are your thoughts about this comparison? Please let me know in the comments. First off, the Neumann mix definitely jumps out for me. The top end seems to shine a lot brighter than the other two, while the lows seem quite solid and punchy. The Yamaha mix sounds like I would expect it to. I've had these speakers for quite a while and I'm used to listening to them, but when compared to the Neumann mix, the Yamaha mix sounds much flatter and less exciting in the highs and the lows, and a little bit cluttered in the mid-range. And surprisingly, I kind of like the Clock Radio mix. It doesn't have that high frequency brightness and detail of the Neumann mix, but the lows and the mids are actually nicely balanced. This is great because I personally love using this ghetto little speaker as an alternative monitoring setup. It's small, it's mid-range, it's basically mono, and I find that it's a great Auratone type substitute. Now, I've loved these Yamaha speakers for a long time, but switching to these Neumanns has been one of the best upgrades I've made to my home studio, and I would definitely recommend these speakers if they fit your room and your budget, because they are definitely, in my opinion, worth the price difference. So that is all for now, guys. Subscribe here for new videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
The world gets worse and life can feel so unfair. It's easy to believe